One thing queer, one thing queer, one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer.
Hello and welcome to One Thing Queer. My name's Jenny Baton and my pronouns are she, they.
And I'm Kelsey Wren and my pronouns are she, her. Hey.
Hey.
We're in a weird mood.
We're in a really weird mood. We're kind of scatterbrained today.
A little bit. It's been I don't know, kind of a busy week and kind of a weird week. And
yeah, there's a full moon today or tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow, but I think that's the energy.
I don't know. I was looking at the moon on my way home last night and I was like, you're not at your full capacity yet. Because, you know, do you ever look at the moon and you're like, oh, it's the full moon? But then you're like, oh, wait, no, you're not complete.
Yeah. No, I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Is the beaver moon? I think.
It's like
An eclipse?
An eclipse.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's actually something we were talking about last night, too, in Candace's class.
Oh, yeah. Have any of y'all joined Candace's Patreon? Because I joined.
Dude, she had her, okay, well, we're gonna shoot the shit. This is gonna be probably like a whole shoot the shit episode.
And we're a hot mess today.
Hot mess. But we just want to chat. I think we just both want to chat. And that's cool.
Catch up.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't, caught up with you. Because, we had Candace last week. And,
Same.
We weren't,
Yeah.
We didn't have the time to, catch up.
For sure.
Yeah.
But we had her class last night, her Crystal Coven class. That's one of the tiers on her Patreon.
Yes.
It was so flippin' good. I learned so much. Because I'm dead. Because me and Sandy was actually there too.
She joined?
Yes, she joined.
Oh my
Go
God.
Sandy.
Go Sandy.
And we were dying that, of course, the two caps showed up to class.
Of course. Sandy's one of our listeners, by the way.
Yes. I don't know if you took notes, but I took notes.
I'm sure she took notes. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I took notes because I was like, oh, I didn't know any of this stuff. It was really, really good. And Candace is so knowledgeable, and she had her notes and just taught us so much.
Yeah.
And it was great. I don't know. It was great. I can't wait for the next one.
I wasn't able to see it live because I worked with BuzzFeed yesterday and I was on my way home when her class was live. But this morning I started watching the beginning of it and it was really cool because she really incorporated her geology background with the spiritual aspect of crystals and their healing powers. And I thought that was really cool. And that's something that she had mentioned was sometimes I battle. She said that she battles the science behind it and the spiritual behind it because they don't really intertwine very commonly.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool. And I had told her that she's basically creating a path for future geologists who are spiritual. You know, it's not going to be as taboo. And I think it's incredible.
It was really cool. And it's stuff that it's kind of the basics. So if you're really that's what we started with is the basics. So if you're really starting out and you don't know what you're supposed to do when you get them, she just kind of went over all of that. And we talked about some other stuff too, but it was just really, really cool.
Go join Candace's Patreon.
Yes, it is Drunken Unicorn Apothecary. How many had?
Drunken Unicorn Apothecary.
Yeah.
I said it. Applause. Wait. Oh my God. Are we?
Are we not recording?
No, we are recording. Why isn't it work? Oh.
Okay, we'll do it.
I'm a horrible DJ. I'm sorry. I need to get the hang of it. Oh, yeah. All right. There we go.
I told you, everybody. Weird mood.
Weird mood.
Yeah, but it was so good. And having her here last time was really good too. And it was fun to talk about. And everything was so interesting, and it was fun to hear. I think we both can't wait for part 2.
We can't wait for part 2, and honestly, I genuinely can't wait to hang out with her again. I really enjoyed her presence, and it's so cool. We all talked about it, how it's really nice and refreshing. Just meeting someone or knowing someone that understands kind of where you're coming from and can guide you or just understand where you're coming from. I don't know.
Yeah. And cool. Yeah, it's just that same thing. It's I don't want to say crazy, but it's when you're like, oh, I'm not crazy. You like it's you can relate, and it's just I think something we all want is to be able to relate.
It's so crazy because I thought you thought I was crazy, and now it's like
I'm pretty sure Candace thought that I thought she was crazy also, and that's why she never told me before. But like, I know that's actually something from the episode that I wanted to touch on is like I think you guys were talking about like how we were talking about timing and stuff, and like I think if you guys would have came at me with this and I hadn't known you previously, I'd be like,
y'all are crazy.
Yeah, because I'm like inherently a skeptic. That's what Capricorns don't believe and stuff like that, like usually. But like, I don't know. I've always grown up knowing there's more to this, and it never meant God to me, or it never meant religion. But there was always something more. Like I could always feel it in my gut.
Yeah.
So it's nice because I like to give into that. I don't want to be like, no. Like I don't like to give into the skeptic side because it's. What's the fun in that? Like, there's more. There's got to be more. There just it's got to be.
Oh, even me. I think it's so natural to second guess your beliefs and things like that because there are moments where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? And whenever I do feel that in my heart, I just think about like, or like when I'm trying to manifest, I think, what do I have to lose?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm setting a manifestation, like, I'm like, okay, I believe that this is going to happen to me, and I'm setting the intention that it's going to happen to me. Sometimes, like, there was, like, a little voice in my head, like, oh, that's not going to work. That's all bullshit. But it's like, what do I got to lose?
Yeah.
In putting the energy forward that things are going to happen. I lose more in, like, being skeptical and like not allowing like not moving basically.
Definitely.
So I think whenever that does happen, because it still happens to this day, I kind of remind myself that I got nothing to lose.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's a little tidbit that Candace was talking about last night. I'm not going to give you everything because, well, not you, but everybody. Of like, you need to like
join her Patreon.
Yes, join her Patreon. But like a little something was talking about the power behind things, and when we believe in them, that's what makes them work, basically. And I was kind of like, I didn't mean to equate it to like Halloween Town, but it kind of reminded me of Halloween Town, where she says like being a witch is basically wanting something and letting yourself have it. And I was like, that's amazing. Like I love that.
It's so true.
It is, and it's so funny because like I mean we've heard that what the movie come out when we were kids, like heard that our whole lives, and it's like it's funny that it just starts to resonate. Like, oh, what do you know?
Yeah, it's true. I watched it like a few months, or no, during Halloween I watched it. No, I watched it on the plane when I was in Michigan, and when that line happened, I was like, whoa. I'm like, there's in every witch movie I've found that there's like some truth to, you know, like the spiritual realm, and or at least like the things that I know now. I'm like, oh, that's kind of true, you know. So it's interesting.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. How was your week?
It's been a great week. I got a haircut on Saturday with Val.
It looks amazing.
Thank
I wanted
you.
to wait till we were recording. It looks amazing. Val's does too. My goodness.
Yeah, she got a pixie cut because she had bleached it previously, and she was like, I just want my curls back. And she said she's always wanted to cut her hair really short, and she finally did, and she looks beautiful.
It suits her so well.
And it suits her. She could pull off anything.
Oh yeah, it's really, really cute. I saw her haircut and I was like, well, great. Now I want to cut my hair. Thanks a lot, Val.
Yeah, I was like, I remember the first night I was like just staring at her, and I was like, oh my god, you look so hot. Ugh. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, I love my hair.
So cute.
And then that was Saturday. I don't remember what I did Sunday. And then Monday and Wednesday, I worked with BuzzFeed again, which was incredible. Yesterday was such a great day.
That was awesome.
I met like 3 of like the BuzzFeed people that had been watching for I don't know how many years, and they were all super nice. I got to glam a couple of them up, and it was just a good day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the crew was really chill. If anybody is just listening in, I'm a makeup artist, so yeah, we had a little photo shoot sesh at the BuzzFeed studios, so that was fun.
That's really cool.
That's been my week.
Yeah,
what about you?
Nice. I kind of had a photo shoot sesh also, but I do like it's for the company I work for, and it's like I do like the clothing
behind the scenes,
like dress the model. like follow the shot list, pick out the outfits.
You're kind of like the stylist, like the
Kinda, yeah.
like do it all man.
Yeah, stylist and like
Woman.
anything you need me to do person on set.
I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty cool. We haven't had a shoot in a while, so I mean, hopefully the pictures are good.
Yeah. Do you also like take BTS? I saw you post like on your stories.
I do. Shu usually puts together like a whole like promo reel of stuff coming out and like puts her music on it and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
I do that too. Like, or like, hey, I'll take videos of her like tell me about the outfit and like she'll like tell about the special features. So yeah, I guess it's all behind the scenes.
It's really funny because I think the day that you went to work, I went to work too, and like we were both at photo shoots. And I was like, it's so interesting how our worlds kind of intercollide in a way, you know?
I am laughing because I think I said to you too, because I'm like, I'm wearing white for like one of the only times out of the year, and it's the day you wear white, and we haven't worn white before. Like it just
together,
no, it's just so funny that like stuff like that keeps happening, like the photo shoot, like. We came with like pretty much the same outfits and like had not talked about it.
It's all alignment, and it just means I have no doubt we're gonna go get a mosh. Kelsey's gonna hate me. No, but we're like aligned.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think we're supposed to be starting this podcast was supposed to happen, and everything has been so easy.
Yeah,
like I don't think. Many things in my life have kind of unfolded the way this podcast has. So, and our friendship too. Like, I feel like it was very like, okay, like, you know, let's see what happens.
We're friends.
Now we're friends. And like, if I don't talk to you or like, I miss you. And I'm not like the missy type. Like,
yeah, I know. I like tell my partner, like, I miss my friend. Like, we haven't talked all week. I miss my friend.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Because I'm like not... I don't know. Like, I'm the type of friend. My friendships are all different. I think the way I go about each friendship is very unique. But I've never been the type of friend that will like talk every day to like my friends. And I have a lot of friends. But I'd say I have like a lot more than I ever did because I was a loner growing up. I was like straight up, I didn't have friends.
Same.
Because I was very introverted and very awkward. And anyways, but as an adult, like I think it's always like been hard for me to have a connection, friendship, like a deep connection or like me let people in, just because of how I was as a kid. And then also I lost my best friend in high school. He passed away. And I think ever since he passed away, like there was always like this wall I would put up to an extent to where I wouldn't allow people in completely. And that's something I've struggled with for a long time. But I don't know what it is. I think it's that I know that it takes a lot for you to be vulnerable, which like has kind of opened the door for me to be able to do that with you. Yeah.
Stop it. I'm kidding, but I know I totally like me. I totally agree. Like I get really awkward when emotions pop up because I'm like,
she's not looking at me right now. Just like I'm turning away
because they're like they hit me hard and I can't switch out of them quickly. That's why I'm like, I really have to be like okay, but like. Yeah. I don't know. You have taught me that also, to like be more vulnerable like that, and actually like saying I appreciate you. Like no one says that to each other. Like
we say that all the time.
Yeah, I know. And I do it because you do it. I'm like, well, like if you do, I do also. That's kind of what I've been meaning about. Like if you're willing to kind of ride with me, like I'm gonna put my all. Like I'm gonna put the same effort that you do, and you put a lot of effort in. So that makes me like That's what I'm saying is that it makes me like. I'm like raising my bar because like, you know.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like you do too. And it inspires me. It makes me want to keep doing this, you know?
Yeah. Cause I'm like, when can we plan this? What are we going to do now?
Yeah. We've been like, I hit you up yesterday and I'm like, I don't know. Like eventually, like I want to do like exciting things with this. Like, I envision in the future, like, you know, once we get like crazy.
Once we get past 200 followers or something. Yes.
Where, you know, like where we do a live show, that'd be so fun. Even if it's like a small, you know, little group, like that would be so cool. or merch in the future,
Yeah.
or doing a Patreon so we could give you more content, because there's been several people, including like friends of mine, and just like listeners that we've, that we've been
Made friends into.
have like really, they're like, they always want more, and I want to be able to give them more, like trying to make the time for it.
I want more. I listened to
Yeah.
our last episode before obviously it came out, and I was like, okay, now I have to wait like another week before we record.
Yeah,
Like this,
to
I
listen
want
to your own
exactly.
podcast. Is that like so
that
conceited? I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I enjoy listening to
I
us.
enjoy it also. It's something.
Yeah.
If it wasn't us, I would listen to us.
I would too.
I really would. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I like hearing it, and like, it's funny to laugh at all the exact same parts.
I know. And it's kind of weird because sometimes I feel like, wait, that's me?
Yeah.
Like when I'm listening, I'm like, oh, wait, that's me. Sometimes I cringe. I'm not going to lie. But
Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm so funny. Look at me go.
look at you go. Yeah.
Oh man.
I laugh at my own jokes. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
I obviously think I'm funny.
And when I'm listening, the same laugh, I do the same laugh that was in the episode, the exact same one.
Yeah.
So
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have, oh my God. That's what I cringe at, is my laugh. So, sorry.
no, it's good.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, we want to do like, because you had mentioned that, and I was like, oh my God, I was literally thinking about that like a week ago, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna bring it up. It's too soon. Like, who do I think I am? Like, who do we think we are doing this kind of thing? But like,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. Like,
Yeah, that's so exciting.
and I think both of us have like a ton of ideas. Like, I don't know. Let us know. Is it too soon for
Is it too soon for merch?
Yeah. Or like Patreon stuff. Or
Yeah.
like, I was looking into how to do lives on YouTube without, having like all those followers or views or whatever. So I'm like, I was looking into that too. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would
Let us know.
I would love to do more of this.
What do you want to see from both of us that would come handy to know?
Definitely.
Because we really want, I don't know. I look forward to this every single week.
Same.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Brain
I
fart.
totally agree. But yeah, totally agree. I don't know. It really is funny that like it's happened so easy, and it's something like we look forward to. Like it's like we both have like similar, like the thoughts come in our heads kind of the same way. Like, so it just, I don't know. I'm waiting for, so sometimes I get like a weird deja vu.
Yeah.
And like, there's times where I'm like sitting or doing something, or something happened in the exact same way that I've dreamed it.
Yeah.
Or like literally dreamed it. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been here before. Like, I've seen this already.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind
It's
of
real.
It's kind of trivial, but it kind of we just got that new fridge.
Oh, I need to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What
Adult things.
Adult things. But it's pretty cool. I never had a fridge like that. Oh my God. My mom loved those, by the way. She was like, I laughed for like 45 minutes. Thanks. Like, great.
You're welcome, Mom.
But it was installed, and I was doing something, I was putting something away, and I was like, whoa, like I've put these things away next to this particular fridge, like in my dreams before. Like, it was really weird. And I kind of like went out around the corner and looked at my partner. I'm like, it happened again. And he's like, cool. He's like, he doesn't know what to say, but I'm like, it's happened. There's been multiple things like that. So I'm just waiting for like, because there's been certain things that I've envisioned in my dreams that are like office spaces or like, and I can't tell what those are for just yet, but I
Yeah.
know what they look like, and I know what like in my dreams they look like. So I'm curious of what is that?
Do you know what deja vu means?
Not exactly.
Okay. I don't know exactly, but I know that it is a psychic ability.
Great.
What's the other sound? What are the other sounds? Okay, I'm done.
Oh boy.
But I'm in such a giggly mood
Yeah.
today. I know that it's a psychic ability, and a lot of people encounter deja vu, and yeah, that's all. That's all I know.
Awesome. Yeah, it happens. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it happens, I'm like, I've literally dreamed this before. Like, I know I've been in this, and it's the exact same feeling that I had during that moment. Like the emotions are exactly the same. Like, and everything is exactly the same. And it's like stuff that like, so I was putting away stuff that like I didn't know I would have. Like, so in my dream, I'm like, oh, okay, like, why do you have that in your hand? And then all of a sudden I have it in real life. It's really, really weird.
I'm going to look it up.
Cool.
It's a feeling of having already experienced the present situation. But I want to look up the spiritual meaning behind deja vu. Deja vu is an eerie feeling of I
couldn't say it either.
familiarity that most of us will experience at least once in our lives. It's definitely as a feeling of having already experienced the present situation. Before our soul enters our body, we hang out in the spirit world with our soul group. Our soul group is like our team, our family in the spirit world that we work with and support.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny too, because like Candace was talking about how it was hard to meditate, like, and that she kind of learned like as a starseed it's hard to meditate. And I actually tried the other day, like I really tried, and it was funny because my partner actually called. I have to tell you that story later because it's not for on air, but he actually called during that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What are you doing? You sound weird." And I was like, "I'm trying to meditate."
Aww.
But I was like, but I had to answer because like I just answered the phone, and
Yeah.
like it was a weird time, so I was like, "What happened? Like, are you okay?"
Yeah.
So I answered, and then I was like, okay. And he's like, "Okay, well, have fun. I'll talk to you later." I was like, "Okay," but it was really difficult, and I don't know if it's because like it was just my like first time trying, or it's difficult in the way that Candace said it was difficult,
Yeah.
or because I picked one that was like too advanced. It wasn't like a beginner,
Yeah.
because I'm not one to start out with the beginner stuff.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm going to tell you the truth. When the first week I started to meditate, it was extremely difficult for me. And it's a threshold you have to pass. And the first few meditations I would do, I started with 10-minute meditations in the morning. Those are great. Those are, like, I still do those. Like, if I feel like I'm gonna not start the day on the right foot, I was like, okay, I need to meditate. And I'll do a 10-minute meditation, and it's so beautiful, and it's easy, and I like to do it laying down. I always lay down because I have trouble doing the swan.
I was laying down at first,
Yeah.
but when she explained what to do,
Yeah.
it was sitting. So I was like, oh, maybe I should be sitting.
Yeah.
But I felt like maybe I should have been laying down.
Yeah, I would recommend laying down because that will put you more. That's what works for me. That puts me in a more relaxed state of mind, and it helps me quiet my mind more when I'm laying down. Even when they tell you that, because I listen to meditations, they're like, "Oh, make sure your feet are on the ground or whatever." I'm like, no, I want to lay down because I don't like sitting in the meditation position. It's not comfortable for me because I have no ass. So. And, like, people have told me, like, put pillows or whatever. Like, no.
I didn't mind that. The thing was, like, keeping my eyes closed with my, like, front of my body exposed and not laying down.
Yeah.
I have to get over that. Like, that, keeping my eyes closed, and I was, like, in the middle of the house. So it was, like, I don't know. I don't know. Having your eyes closed in the daytime is weird to me for some reason.
Yeah. No, I get it. And honestly, like, do it when it calls to you, like when you're like, okay, I want to try. And even like doing nighttime meditations really helps, like just putting you to sleep. And slowly, like whenever I don't have time, I will do nighttime meditations, and then slowly it'll come naturally.
Yeah.
Because I definitely struggled. I don't struggle at all anymore. I find that whenever my mind wanders, and it still does, I just try to focus on my breath. It's all breath work. It's just like, imagining. It's all visual. That's what meditation is. So whatever is being said in your guided meditation, you just kind of want to try to visualize it. And sometimes it's going to be hard. Some days it's going to be easy. It's an ever-changing thing, but
it was
great.
It was hard. It was hard, and it was like, I was like, because obviously I didn't try. I started the beginner one. It was like, 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, this is a long time.
I know.
I was like, this is taking a long time. Because I was like, and I have those like intrusive thoughts a lot too. So I was like I felt myself in my head going, like batting them away every time they came in. Because I was like, no, I'm busy. Leave me alone.
Yeah. No, and that's the whole point of meditation. Like, you're not doing it wrong at all. It's you just gotta find your mojo. You need to find like what's gonna feel comfortable.
We had been talking about it for like 2 weeks, so I finally felt that like I was like, okay, like my partner's not home, like I'm not doing I have nothing to do right now, so I'm like, it's be a perfect time to do it. Like, let me try it like now, and I don't know, it's just difficult.
Try laying down and put a blanket on you. Like if you're going to bed,
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, but honestly, like that's okay. Okay. Because even when you're meditating, or even if you fall asleep while you're meditating, your subconscious is still listening to everything. So you're still meditating even if you fall asleep. And I promise you, when you wake up, you're gonna feel so fucking amazing. Like it feels like you just fucking smoked a bong bowl. Like it's great.
Coincidentally, that makes me fall asleep also.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, like when you wake up though from being high, it's like, oh, fuck, that was such a good sleep. That's the feeling you get when you meditate.
Gotcha.
At least that's what I feel. It's
funny. Well, not funny, but like it kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Candace, that like I kind of thought the same thing, like, what's it gonna hurt? Like, even if it's all in my mind, like, if I feel better because it's all in my mind, like, I mean, I don't see the issue.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And it only brings, like, you peace, and it, like, just...
I think if anything, because it was a really anxious day that day, and I was tired of feeling that I just get in cycles. I don't know what it is, but like it was really a day where I was like, I really don't like this narrative in my head that I'm creating, and I need to do something to get out of it, basically. So I was like, here we go, let's try this. If anything, if it was a moment to sit and calm and clear your mind, that did what it needed to do. It stopped me from thinking those things.
Yeah, that's honestly what that's one of the things that helps with meditation. Is just that it puts you in a different state of mind. It puts things into perspective, because it's so easy for us, especially people that deal with mental health or health issues. It's really easy for us to like get caught up in our head about things, and then when you put things into perspective, like you kind of just have to like step away and like really look at those emotions that you're feeling, and then you'll be like, oh yeah. Like, why was I tripping about that?
Basically,
like,
because I was just in a funk from like a day prior, and I was like, okay, whatever that funk was solved. And my head just kept saying those things over, and I was trying to use like the stuff I learned in therapy, and like trying to figure out what was really bothering me.
Yeah.
And even then, at some points, your brain is so like for me, anyways, my brain is so consumed with anxious thoughts that like I can't clear through those to figure out what is actually wrong, or like what am I thinking that's making me feel these things, because like that's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's part of like what my therapy was like learning to like kind of reprogram and figure out what you're actually thinking that's making you feel this way.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to do. But sometimes the thoughts are so hard and fast that I can't clear through those. So that's when I was like, maybe if anything, if this will get me out of this headspace, because all I'm doing is, I like to call them ping pong thoughts. If all I'm doing is ping ponging around in my head, I'm never going to get out of this today. And so I was like, let me try it and see if that worked. It worked for that. I had stopped ping. I was like, oh, okay.
That's great.
I'm cool now. Like, I'm chill. Like, my brain was quiet, and like, I'm like, if to me, like, that's all powerful, and like, I don't care if you think I'm crazy. Not you, but like, I don't care if you think I'm crazy. If it works for me, then that's what I want.
I think all of us, like, besides going to sleep, I think it's important for us consciously, like, when we are awake, to try to like, meditating is basically like you asleep while you're awake.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's how I see it, at least. That's what it is for me, because there'll be times where I will fall asleep, but then I will be awake and I feel like I'm awake, but I'm asleep. And that's hypnosis. Oh, okay. And that's what happens when you meditate and you get to that deep level of meditation. You are in hypnosis, so you are basically awake while being asleep. So you're still like aware of your surroundings, but you're asleep. Gotcha. I don't know, it's really interesting.
Gotcha.
But I love reaching that state. Whenever I hit that state, it literally, it feels like I am not here. Yeah. Like, it feels like I'm a greater being. Like, like it's a very powerful feeling, and it's a beautiful feeling of peace. And I don't know. For me, like I'm gonna get really deep. It makes me feel closer to the astral realm and still being here. Mm-hmm. That's what I enjoy about meditation is that emotion and that feeling.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
I like I know we're gonna have to change the podcast name to like One Thing Spiritual or something.
oh my god,
it's been so much spiritual stuff, but it's like I think it's what we're both like super interested in right now.
Yeah.
Like not right now, but like it's all new for me, so it's yeah. I'm a sponge right now. Like I want to consume and like. I mean, I don't know if you know, but being a Capricorn, you need to know everything about everything that you get yourself involved in. So it's
a
like,
shiny new toy for you.
It really is. And it's a hyper, like, I have that thing too where, like, so I'll hyperfixate on stuff. And then, like, kind of when I've learned what I feel that I've needed to learn, then it's like, okay, now I will hyperfixate on something else.
Yeah.
Like, and it happens all the time.
And that's your journey.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, like, wherever it leads, you know, the important thing is that it's leading you to something for the better of you and for the greater good of you. And
I think, yeah, I'm not even, to be honest, I'm not even interested in the, like, I'm not in a better me, but a more peaceful mind me.
Yeah.
To me, if I can achieve that, like, that is the goal, is to, like, not have to combat those ping pong thoughts all the time. Like, all the time.
yeah. You're that's self-love.
Yeah.
That's
I just
what it
would
comes down to.
really not like to be trapped in that, in my brain anymore. That would be great.
I feel like this year with you coming out, I think it's kind of just the trend of this year for you is your journey to self-love and self-healing, because you are trying, like, you're doing everything you can to try to, like, self-heal. And same, I'm on the same path, and I think that's why we're here.
Yeah. Jenny's getting me emotional. Yeah, because it's pretty much a lot of the stuff I focus on is like self-love stuff. So it's like me. Like, I don't know. It's funny. I don't know. We can like to like.
I'm gonna get emotional.
I know. To kind of give. That's why I'm not even looking at you right now. Can't do it. Kind of because too, like, there's some stuff like, so we talked about before Candace's episode, the signs of the gay episode, and it was funny that my mom kind of came back with stuff that she like something I wanted to touch back on, that she came back with stuff that she either noticed as a kid, like when I was a kid, or noticed that other people noticed. And it was funny because it brought up a lot of stuff that like that makes so much sense in why I see myself in the way I see myself now. And it's not that it's all bad, but it's like, because I've always described myself as more of like a masculine, like, even though I still identify as, you know, she, her, that because that's what feels right for me. I just still feel like a masculine energy. And like, that's always, but it's funny because it's like, okay, so like when I was a kid, like we were talked about, like I had short hair, and like even like other, like when I played soccer, I mean, like, not to toot my own horn, but I was pretty darn good at it. I was pretty damn good at it. So like the other coaches would be like, they have a boy on their team, like that's who their goalie is. And I'm like, dude, I have boobs. Like I have a chest, like it's pretty obvious I'm not, like I have hips. I had hips back then when I was a kid, like it's pretty obvious. Like, and my mom would be like, we're in the girls' bathroom, like kind of like, you know, I'm like, do I need to practice with my like a sports bra on so you can see like that I'm not like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's like, even like stuff like that, like it was just short hair, but why would they think like, you know, I don't know, maybe I don't know, it's just so, but she noticed other coaches noticing that, and I knew that, like I could, I don't know, I think I sensed it. And that wasn't the only time, like even when I ice skated, like they would think that, like, I guess one of the kids I used to skate with had called me like Butch, and my mom kind of like took notice of that like other people were noticing kind of what was in her head a little bit. Yeah. So like it was just, I don't know, but it's funny because it like I've always resonated with that. Like there was, I saw a TikTok the other day that was like something about like that, you know, that like I'm woman like thing, but it was yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know the words.
No, I couldn't remember. I thought of it in my head, but I can't. All I can remember is I'm woman. But anyways, somebody was saying that like all of these things, like I feel that, but I also don't feel like I can embody the femininity that goes into that, which is really weird. Even though like, okay, I put makeup on and I put jewelry on, like all the things that are quote unquote feminine, it still doesn't feel that way. It still feels like something's missing. Yeah. Which is like, I don't know. It but that's all in the self-love talk.
Yeah.
Because it's like being okay with that. Like you can be a person or be a woman that, or somebody who identifies as she, her, but you don't have to be quote unquote the feminine all the time. It's just being like, I used to be really uncomfortable by that thought because I felt like something was missing.
Yeah.
But it's like being okay with it. Like it's like, oh no, that's just
Well,
just
yeah.
me.
I mean, I think all of us. Here we go. Here we go again with the spirituality. Like in the spiritual, like what I believe, we're all made up of divine feminine and divine masculine energy, and sometimes there can be an imbalance, and like we're all made up of it, every single soul. That's what I believe. And so that's like, that could be an external, like it could be an external battle you're battling with in the 3D world with society and like what society paints and society's influence, but it's also it could also be internal, like emotional and spiritual. So that could be something to look into. Yeah,
definitely. That, like, I don't know, there was some, like, even like when she was talking about like signs of like not being 100% straight, quote unquote, is like, I had a best friend in 8th grade, so like after 8th grade, like all the kids I hung out with, like for some reason dropped me like a hot potato. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. But this friend I met, and you know, online or whatever. I didn't know why I was meeting people online, but he went to the same school, so I was like, okay, at least you're not like an adult.
Yeah.
But we became friends, and like he was really fun. Like my parents loved him. Like, I mean, they were like, he was really, I mean, he was good looking, but I wasn't like, oh, dreamy. Like, but my mom like kind of knew something was up when I didn't fall for him, because I wasn't dating anybody at that time. Like it was like 8th grade summer going into freshman year. Like she was like, what's wrong with you? Kind of like, he's like perfect. And like, you're not falling for him. Like I've only ever thought of him as like a brother. Like he's always like, just, it was not even a fleeting thought where I was like, oh, hey, you're like kind of cute in this. No, I'm like, you're just a friend always. And like my mom was like, I don't understand, like there's got to be. I'm like, Mom, you know. So like that was kind of part of something that she thought of, like, that's cool. Oh, what's kind of also too, there was like kind of the last thing I'll talk about, but like, so I have a cousin, and they're a transgender man, and when he was little, he had told my mom, I'm never wearing makeup. And she was like, okay, like, and he's never worn makeup. And I guess I had said that to her when I was a kid. When I was like 14, me and a friend from soccer had said that. And that was kind of when I was like, had really short hair, and people were like, oh, like, or the other coaches were like, oh, they have a boy on their team. And that was around the time, like, oh, I'm never wearing makeup. Because I think even back then it didn't resonate, like like I'm like, it feels, it's a weird thing, I don't know. So the TikToks I watch too also think like, these are not cis thoughts. But like, I still don't feel like that applies. That's for me. But anyways, like it almost feels like drag. It's such a weird feeling.
You were most definitely, I have no doubt, you were a man in your past life. The last one you lived.
Or I don't know. And I apparently was very strict on rules, because all I need to learn this life is like, you don't need rules. And you can do what you want, kind of thing. So apparently I was a very strict man.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Anyways, but I don't know. It just it's funny to like, all of that to say, all of that is part of the self-love journey, I think.
Absolutely. To go back on the I have a question for you.
Sure.
During that time, did you always gravitate more towards like having guy friends?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I always did too. And also during one of my last relationships, he was in a band, and I didn't have friends. I had moved up to the Bay Area for this person, and he had a lot of friends because he was in a band, and a lot of them were guys. And I found myself every time I would like hang out with, you know, all his friends, I was always hanging out with the guys and not the girlfriends. And then also in my last relationship, that also happened. I would gravitate towards hanging out with the guys more. And not because I've never questioned, like, I've never wanted to be a man, but that's where kind of my identity comes in, is, you know, I consider myself non-binary, and I I wonder, I always like think about that. I'm like, I wonder if that has anything to do with like my, I don't know, like me being in touch with my masculine energy more so. And I kind of hate like the concept of masculine and feminine, like as a non-binary person, because I'm like, where's the word for like
the middle?
The middle.
Yeah. Or all of it and none
or all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, because I'm like, when I express myself with how I dress, I feel like there's no other words besides putting it, like I say I dress like neutral, but neutral still equates to feminine and masculine. You know, that's what we know. So like I take a little bit of a masculine approach, and then I sprinkle a little makeup, and it's like there's my femininity. So I don't know, I just like thought about that, and I was listening to an episode on this podcast it's called Uneducated, and it's Cammie Scott's podcast. She's a lesbian, and she had a non-binary person come on, and they were kind of explaining their journey, and I was like, I don't know, it really like inspired me and really like put things into perspective, because I had so much in common with this person, and they had mentioned something like that too, like, oh, I always like wanted to be a guy's guy, and I'm like,
as a girl,
you know, but like, I don't know,
I get it.
It's really weird.
I think mine stems from something different though. Like I grew up with only boys.
Yeah.
I only know how to relate to boys.
Absolutely.
And like I do, like I have a lot, like pretty much most of my friends are women now. Or like, you know, of feminine people, I guess. And like I think with girls in the past, I always felt like with being bi and not wanting to come out, basically, is that they always pushed me to, and we've had this conversation where they pushed me to a masculine side, and I was like, oh, I don't like it. People are gonna know, and I look like the quote unquote butch one in this hangout sesh, and I don't like that people can see that. And so that's where I was like, well, I'm not gonna hang out with you guys, because like now I'm the dude, basically, which that doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense. And
it makes sense. It's your truth.
It made me feel too masculine, but I know I don't like to feel that way, like pushed to that side. So like even with my partner, like, I mean, you know him, he's a little masculine and feminine.
Oh yeah,
like
he's very balanced.
Yes, he's very balanced, but he's enough masculine to push me to the feminine side, which I like. I that's where I like to be, especially in a romantic relationship. So like it works out perfectly that way. So like now that I'm more comfortable being pushed a little bit to the masculine side, because I'm not as afraid of being quote unquote outed or anything, I'm like embracing that a little bit more. But like, I don't know, it's like I really am in my head like, because I think about that stuff, like we feel the same about a lot of stuff, but why do I still she hers for me? I still feel like that's for me, not non-binary or anything, like at least not yet anyways. So it's like, I don't know, it's just interesting how it like really, it's really how
plays
you
out. It's funny because you and your partner make so much sense to me, because like you said, he has like I find that him being so comfortable with his side of femininity, that equates to him being so masculine to me.
But it's like, he's also, the best thing about him being so comfortable with himself is that I don't have to be hyper feminine all the time to like mean something, if that makes sense. I can be quote unquote masculine, like and he's like, he doesn't care, like he doesn't care what it looks like to the outside world. He doesn't care like what other people say. He doesn't care if anybody were to make, you know, I mean, he would care if they make rude remarks, but it doesn't lessen his view of me at all in any way. And I'm like, cool, like that works out great for me, because I don't always like to be also hyper feminine. I'm not comfortable in that way, because I feel like it's a weird feeling. I feel like I'm not doing it right, which is a weird, there's no right way to do it, but it still feels like I'm, like I said, like it feels like playing drag, like playing in drag makeup, even though it's, you know, I'm still like, I identify as she, her, so it's just really weird. It's just not always for me. But I think also I have the expectations of myself to do those things. When I lessen those expectations on myself, I feel better. So that's part of also like the self-love and journey, is like, I don't always have to be as hard on myself as I always am. I can chill.
You can chill brah.
Yeah, chill brah.
Chill brah.
We said I showed Jenny a picture of the set. Jenny was like, sick brah. And I was like,
brah.
thanks brah.
I had to.
I was dying at the set. My boss like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, sick brah.
Sick brat. That's her thing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I'm watching the Bachelorette Australia because she's bisexual.
Ooh.
So I got like a, what is it called, VPD or whatever? I don't know. VPN, whatever. I'm not tech savvy. I got that, so I've been watching it, and it's so great. It's really interesting, like just seeing the dynamic of like both men and women, like fighting for a girl.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
I don't know. I never watched The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I never watched those shows.
I don't even. That's why I didn't even know that was coming up.
Yeah, but I saw like a little snippet of it on TikTok, and I'm like, I need to watch this show. And there was an episode. It was a Mardi Gras episode, and it was like pride based, and it was so cool seeing straight cis men like in drag and embracing the queer culture. It was, and there was a contestant on there, and she was saying like there's something so beautiful about feeling that allyship from a cis straight man, because like, you know, like you could tell it was genuine. And I started crying because it's not always that way. And it reminded me of your partner. It reminded me, like that he would be there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He would. He would.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Embracing and like, and he's proud. And I think that's so beautiful.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
He's the coolest. You're the coolest. Because I know he's gonna listen. Because he listens every single time.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna put my. He was off yesterday, and I was like, oh, do you want to watch a movie? He's like, no, I don't really feel like it. He's like, I'm gonna listen to your podcast. I'm like, but I was like, but I'm right here. We can hang out.
I love that.
I was like, well, I want to watch my movie, so you go ahead and listen to your thing. But I was like, but I'm also right here. It was very cute. That's funny. But it's my thing that I love is that, so he has his headphones on, right?
Yeah.
So he'll be around, and I could hear him like laugh, and I'm like, oh, you think we're funny? It kills me. Perfect. Nailed it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was. No, I thought you were gonna do another one. I was like, pause for sound effect.
No, it's because I had it on like, anyways.
Okay. Anyways,
proceed.
There was so last week Brenda had gifted us that pride flag, and actually another listener or a guest had gifted. We were talking about a book.
Yeah.
And she had showed me a passage that was basically like talking about I can't remember the name of the book right now, but I will find it and we'll put it in for next week. But she gifted me the book, and she showed me the page in it, and I was like, oh, what book is that? And she was like, oh, what's your address? I'm like, oh, she's already been here. Like, of course I'll give you my address. And she was like, oh, it'll be there on Friday or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, you didn't have to do that. Like, thank you so much. It was the sweetest thing. It's like, but it was like my first also like, so it was like my first like pride flag and like my first like queer book in like 1 week. And I was like, man, you guys, I know. I was like, you guys rock. Like, that's really cool. Like, cause I would have never explored myself, you know, like I'm excited to read it. I can't remember the name of the book right now, but one of the passages that she had sent me was basically talking about like how I don't know why I started talking about that. It made me think of it though.
The sound effect?
Possibly. I don't know. But I wanted to tell it because it was so sweet, and it was just so nice of her to do. And I'm really appreciative. And in that passage, it was talking about, oh, that's why, because we were talking about The Bachelor. Being a bi person is that like she was talking about how like when you say you're bi, when you say you're bi and you have a person of the opposite gender, people kind of think of it as like, oh, thank God you're straight. Okay. Like, they're like, cool, I can deal with that. They want you to make a decision. Basically, they don't like that you're in the middle. They want you to make a decision. So if you're with a person of the opposite gender or a different gender, they're like, oh, okay, they see you as straight. Yeah. And if you're with a person of the same sex or gender, they're like, oh, okay, oh, you're gay. And they know how to deal with that. But I think the thing that makes them so uncomfortable is that it can like, it's fluid. Like, it's not a one or the other thing. Like, and that was really interesting. And that's what I was like, oh, what book is that? And made me, because I was like, I want to read the rest of that. So it was really interesting, like that it's interesting to see a bi person on there because it'll hopefully get people to see that it's like it's not both, but it's everything. Like I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure the difference between a bisexual person and a pansexual person. But for me, I say bisexual because I think I've said it before that like I think of the binary in that is people like me and people not like me, whatever that means on the other side, basically. And for me, I don't feel like pansexual resonates because I'm in a relationship, so I don't want to explore that part further. So I don't know. It's just really interesting to hear that.
Yeah, it's really cool because you do see that and it's so important, and I hope that it happens here in the States because I feel like it would break so many stigmas, and it will break that like desire of people so obsessed in putting others in boxes, because that's what it comes down to.
That's what she was saying in the book. That's what she was saying too, is that being a bi person is constantly having to come out and constantly having to explain that like, no, I'm not this or this, it's both, or it's all kind of thing. And it was actually funny because so at the photo shoot, so it's a photographer we had been using for a long time, and I've known him for like, I don't know, 9-8 years, something like that. And every single time I've talked about my partner, like he knows he identifies as a man, like he knows who he is. And I always joke that they kind of have similar music tastes. So it was funny. So we were kind of chatting and like, oh, what's new, whatever. And I was like, oh, I have a podcast, like because his partner has a YouTube channel. Yeah. And I was like, oh, are you still doing that? It's cool. I'm like, oh, I have a podcast. And he's like, what's it called? And I was like, One Thing Queer. And he was like, cool, that's awesome. Like, congrats. Where do I find it? Blah, blah, blah. And I showed him. And then you could see his kind of wheels turning for about 10 minutes. And like, he got kind of quiet and turning. I know he's very accepting because I just know him I know him like that. So I'm like, okay, like you could see his turn. So about 10 minutes later, he's like, didn't you have a boyfriend? Like, I still do. And I was like, well, listen, I was like, well, I'm bisexual. And he's like, oh, okay. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, I'm dying right now. I was laughing so hard because I was like, I could see your wheels turning for about 10 minutes. And I was telling him, it's a funny thought. We had talked about this before, but like, if I ever want to tell anybody about the podcast, I kind of have to come out every time because it's like, like they're like, why are you there? Because they don't see it as, they don't see me as a person who would identify with that. And it's because they know who my partner, and my partner's been my partner for almost 16 years. Like, so a lot of people have only known me in this relationship. So it's like, they can't, they don't understand.
I love that. But you're creating a conversation. And that's fun. Important. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I feel the same way whenever I tell people about the podcast. But yeah, it's definitely the way you're describing his wheels turning. Yeah. That's literally me whenever I see you processing things. Like if I'm ever telling you something, you're like,
I have to literally look at the wheels turning in the sky to like make it go. Yeah.
You like stare into the abyss. Yeah.
It's my concentration face.
I love it.
I'm dead because he was still setting up and like he just got real quiet. So I was like, I know he's not like, I know he's not, mean about it, or like, I know he's like super accepting. So I'm like, what are you thinking about? I'm like, oh, I know what he's thinking about.
He's like,
it was so funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's what made it kind of funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So we wanted to kind of touch base on what's coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
We have exciting things happening in the next few weeks. Exciting guests coming.
Yeah. Exciting guests for December.
So keep a lookout for that. And we also wanted to ask y'all about the merch. We kind of touched base on it in the beginning, but would you all be interested in that, or a Patreon? Yeah, or like what would you want to see? Like, because we have our ideas, but like, what would you want to see? Or like, I don't know. Yeah. We want to hear from y'all. Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and I think the first week of December, we're thinking about December 1st, we're going to do another live. Yes, we're going to do another live. Yeah. So if you missed the first one and you want to come join us and hang out, the last one was so much fun. It really was. I had so much fun.
Yes,
I
yeah.
really had to pee. I need to remember to pee before because I really had to pee.
You were in an in-depth conversation with my partner, and I was
Yeah.
like, come on.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Yeah, we had to scurry
Yeah,
on
but
up to the studio.
yeah, but it was really fun, and I think we would have fun again. So
Yeah.
we're thinking December 1st, same time,
7 p.m. Eastern. No, Pacific Standard Time.
on the good old gram. Unless we can figure out a different, I have to talk about behind the scenes. I have to talk to you about that later. But
Yeah.
unless we can find a different avenue to do that. But
Yeah, but for now, I think
Instagram.
Yeah, I think Instagram. I think most of our listeners follow us on Instagram. Like our hardcore, like ride or die listeners are on our Instagram.
Team OTQ.
Yes, Team OTQ. So we will be on the IG. Once we hit 1,000 followers, we'll dive into TikTok.
For sure.
And please spread the word, share our TikTok so we can gain more traction on there and we can like spread the word about the podcast.
Yeah.
You'll see me make a fool out of myself.
Say, let us know how you like the TikToks. I find them hilarious. So.
Yeah, I make a fool out of myself and you'll just find Kelsey laughing at me.
It's my favorite thing.
So follow us on there. We have a lot of fun on there.
Yeah, but
And what else? No?
just children screaming in the background.
Screaming in the background.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I think that's it. So I guess we will do the socials.
Yeah, socials. You can follow us on Instagram at One Thing Queer. And and my personal one is SpexRayX.
And my personal one is at Jenny Lynn Bouton. And if you have any questions or would like to write in and tell us your story about coming out, or if you have a question or you would like our advice, feel free to email us at onethingqueer@gmail.com.
Yeah. And our TikTok is One Thing Queer Podcast.
Yes. And we also have a Twitter, but
I haven't been posting on Twitter. I think we have one follower, and I love you so much. And but I'm like, nobody's on it yet.
yeah,
so.
nobody's on it yet. So I don't know.
It's a lot, guys.
It's a lot to handle. Like, it's just two of us.
Yeah.
So
The time has come, the walrus said.
the time has come, the walrus said. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this recap and shooting the shit episode.
Yeah.
And we hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And we will see you again next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Graphics by BexUniverse.co. Music by Jacody.